Hi, Adrian. Welcome.
Hi, Pontus. Hi, Alan.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's really nice.
You're laying a heavy stake within our podcast. You're a regular guest.
It's the third time you're on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
so.
fourth, if you count also the epilogue.
That's some kind of world record, I think.
Very good.
Yeah. So now you have something special to tell us. What is the setup of this episode?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about some special sounds that I have heard Angelina do and that are not easily noticeable. And some can be noticed, but you still have to catch them and say, okay, this is special. Yeah, this has actually not come from me, but I was on your video, Pontus, and going through the comments and saw a discussion between two people who were discussing a special sound that Angelina was making in a song. And it was like a croaky sound, something they call a nerd or a Kermit. And I went to that video and tried to listen, and I was going, wow, but these people, they are so sensitive, you know, if they would not have said that, I would never have picked up on that. Yeah. And so I have to listen more carefully because what am I missing? Maybe I'm missing lots of things. Yeah. And I don't want that. So there were a couple of special sounds that I had already noticed myself. And so I joined into this discussion by saying, oh yeah, well, you have very good ears. I would not have heard that. But yeah, Angelina has ability to make special or hidden sounds. And I have noticed a few too. Yeah. And then they asked me, oh, really? So can you share some of them? And that's how it started. And that was all in the comment section on your video.
I remember that. I started discovering those comments. There were like 10 comments back and forth. And it just kept going and going. There were more and more comments. And I didn't want to interfere. I wanted to stay back and see where it was going. And it was like a very long conversation, up to 90 different comments. So it was very long and very interesting.
Since then, we have taken it offline. We're still exchanging these kind of features. And it's almost a year, I think.
All due to Angelina Jordan.
That's right. But we have also become friends because of her.
Yeah, that's amazing, I think. Yeah. That's a very good benefit of being an Angelina Jordan angel.
Absolutely. And it's also nice because due to these exchanges, you discover more of what Angelina does, things that you would not have noticed. And also it's nice that you talk to a person and you discover also a new person.
I don't know if I want to come out with this kind of information, but I do listen to other music other than Angelina. I don't know how about you, but
I don't.
We know, Alan. You're just.
I do sometimes, yeah.
But I must say that before I discovered Angelina, I was in a period that I didn't really care for music that much. I didn't listen to it. I was feeling low and didn't want to do anything really. But she really picked up my interest for music and broadened the genres that I listen to nowadays. So I was never into jazz and that kind of style that she does. And that's so lovely that she picked up those songs, that they're of such a high quality that it's timeless pieces, really.
True, yeah. The songs that she sings, I might have heard them in the past. But I wasn't going very much into their meaning or so. It was just a nice song and that was it. But now it's more that I want to know what's behind that song. What's the meaning? Why was it written? And I want to know the lyrics of it. I want to know more. And I didn't have that before. That's what makes it fun. Yeah. It's the history of a song and how it developed even over time with all the different people interpreting it.
That's where Alan's channel comes in.
Yes.
Then we learn a lot about
each song. Yeah.
I'm just a storyteller. That's all I am. I'm just telling a story.
Oh, you're being modest now.
I had very good training because when my kids were 8 and 10 years old, I would tell them a bedtime story every night. And every night I would tell them a different bedtime story. And at the start, I would say to them, what would you like the story to be about? And one of them would say a princess and the other would say a tiger. And then the next night, one would say a lion and the other would be an acrobat. So every night I would have to come up with a different story based on their requests. And they grew up and thought, oh, every father does that and makes up stories as they go along. And now I just do it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, for a little more grown-up kids.
Yeah, we're all kids at heart.
So Adrian, I think you've sent us 9 examples.
Yes. Yeah, so I have 2 categories of them. One are special sounds and one are the hidden sounds. And so we can start with the special sounds because they're easy to hear, but it's still something that you need to listen to and then say, yes, this is something really good or it is really special.
Yeah.
And so we could start with 4 special sounds and then we can go to the hidden ones.
Yeah. I understand what you say when you say hidden ones, because some of these sounds, when I collected them and put them up for us to listen to them, are really subtle. You have to really listen. So I've actually done so that we won't show the video. We will just listen to the sound, because I think it's important sometimes to just listen and not be distracted by the images.
It's very important. I think especially here. Yeah. We start with All of Me, John Legend, and there is one particular word that she sings there that stands out.
Yeah, and which word is that?
It's oh.
Oh.
But she doesn't sing it like that. She has her own interpretation.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Yeah.
Was that correct?
That's right. Yeah. So she makes something like Ma out of it, and with an M in front. And I didn't know the lyrics of this song very well, but you can hear most of the words quite clearly. But then this word was like, I couldn't understand what she was singing. What kind of word was that? So I had to go to the lyrics to find out. And and then that was it.
Okay, let's listen to the whole thing again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's really very beautiful.
I'm almost hearing that she's singing My Heart.
Ah.
That's what I hear.
All right.
So you both hear an M.
Yeah, I hear an M. But when you play this song fully, from beginning to end, every time you pick up this word, it stands out. It's really very, very beautiful.
Yeah, and especially now when you've pointed out to us, then it's like, okay. And I've had that with many songs of her. And I remember one of the first videos that you did, Alan. You reacted to one part of her song, and then every time I hear that, I think of you, how you reacted when you just, oh, this is so good. Okay, should we continue?
So the next one is from It's a Man's World, and where she sings the word without. And this she sings in a very nice and very long stretched way and with a lot of modulation. It's very special.
This is from a concert with audio only.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. Ooh, I'll be nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious there.
Yeah, it's obvious that it is. It's fantastic. Really.
Yeah. I mean, how can she do sounds like that?
It's almost like a growl.
When she sings It's a Man's World, all through that song is remarkable stuff happening all the time.
She has this magnificent belt also.
And one of the parts I'm actually thinking, if I may hijack your idea here for a moment, that I think is nice, is when she sings Train. She almost sings Train like a train whistle. Next time you hear that, maybe you can... Sounds almost like a train whistle.
Maybe the cat take us out of the road. Maybe the train carry us out of the heavy load.
Okay, so do you have another one for us?
I have another one that is in the song I Know I'm Not the Only One. And here she sings the word one, but again, very stretched and with a lot of feeling. One that she does is particularly strong because you really feel that this is the sort of essence of the song.
Yeah.
It is that she's not the only one, and that one is really, it's all in there. And that's what stands out, and you feel the pain and the sorrow that is in that word when she sings it.
You call me baby, I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it's the one before last.
Very obvious, really nice. It's amazing how she can just take one word, and in this case, it's just a short one.
A short one.
Yeah, she drags it out, and she modulates the sound soft in the beginning, and then she puts on some vocal fry, and there's a lot of emotions in just one word.
Yeah, in one word.
How did you find these? Was this like the first time you heard the song, you reacted to it, or is it when you go deep and listen to it again and again?
Yeah, it's when you listen to it many times and then it suddenly takes you. You said, oh yes, all the feeling that she has, that she puts it in. It's rarely on the first time that you can pick up something like that.
I want to call this episode The Microscope Down the Rabbit Hole.
That's a good one.
We're looking at listening to small details, but it's in the essence also of what Angelina does and what she's able to convey in the song. Even if you may not hear it consciously, that particular word is amazing. It's part of the song, and somehow once the song is over, you feel it. You know, what was the song about, and what was the feeling in the song.
You know, when she sings every song and really with every word, she has so many different options. It's not like fixed and rigid and predetermined. And she has so many different options. It almost reminds us of life. You know, we have so many options every day and all throughout our life. And so her singing is almost like a role model for life because it's not fixed and rigid. It's so fluid.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very fluid and it's very articulate. In every song, there may be the same words, but she sings them in a different way so that they are really part of the song and what the song is telling us.
Yeah.
And that's very well done.
Like life is also when you look at it through a microscope or really look at the details, you're really amazed of how much there is, how much structure there is, how much details there really are in everyday life. I'm famous now for the man who doesn't kill spiders anymore because of Angelina. Because I feel like that's something I used to do. If there's bugs around, I just kill them and squash them. But now I just let them be because I think they're small miracles walking around. When you really look at it and you take the time to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a spider epidemic in the south of Sweden, is there?
Yeah, they're really multiplying now.
They must be mathematical spiders.
But what I'm getting at is like the notion of really taking your time and listening to one of Angelina's song and listening to the fine details in just one word. It's a lot like being present in life and just enjoying the sounds of the wind, or when you're walking you hear the
leaves of the trees.
It's a very popular thing now, being in the now. It's like a whole movement.
Pontus, your father was a painter.
Yeah.
And I think this is a feature of what painters do, because you can look at a painting and like it, but if you was to speak to the painter, it's every single brush stroke is a different decision, and every single brush stroke is a different color, and he has to have the detail and the bigger picture in his mind at the same time, as well as the overview. And this is almost her approach to the song, because she has the overview of the whole song while having a color for every brush stroke that she puts into every word.
Yeah, I think that's a very good analogy, because Angelina also has this sense of detail, and also painters often, they may put some detail in their painting that only they know, and that maybe only people find out years later that actually there is a part that is like a self-portrait of the painter, or there is something that he has put that only has meaning for him, but for maybe nobody else who looks at it.
Those type of painters would put like a cat in the corner, and there would be so many symbols, and you need an art historian to dissect what the symbol means in each painting. They say for painters, the most difficult thing to do is to paint the eyes, because how to get the shine of the eye is really difficult to achieve. But if Angelina Jordan were a painter, she brings out the exact right shine with every stroke.
Yeah. She has done some very good drawings. I have seen. She did a drawing of the 4 judges of the Norway's Got Talent show, and it is remarkable how she has captured everybody's emotion in this drawing.
Wow.
But she was singing, she was performing on stage, and somehow she has recorded that one was totally astonished, another one was very in deep thoughts, and the next one was with tears in the eyes. And she has captured every expression, and later on made the drawing to somehow show what she had seen. And I found that remarkable. It was in one of her videos. Yeah, so astonishing that she could do that, because she was supposed to be concentrated on her singing.
She's that tuned into people, and she's that tuned into everything around her. That's just a testament to how profound her sensitivity is.
Yeah, profound sensitivity, and also that she can do many things at the same time, which we've seen in videos, that she can sing and she can greet people in the audience if she is in between 2 songs. But she's actually singing and she's noticing everybody. And
at the same time, she's reading the lyrics.
Yeah, she's reading the lyrics. She's multitasking in a perfect way.
You two are both bilingual or trilingual, and I am not. And when you have a second and third language, as you're learning it, you're still thinking and translating from your original language. But then there comes a moment where you are able to think in the second language and maybe even in the third language. And so maybe that's the type of transition she makes, where a long time ago she was able to think in her second language and third language, but she can do that with many more things more than languages. She can do that with music, and she can do that with sensitivity. It's a certain type of fluidity that you get when you speak many languages like that.
Should we get back to the script? In this category, what
special sounds?
This one is from Billie Jean, and the special sound is on the word advice.
Yeah, I think we all know that one. Let's listen to that one.
Yeah.
For 40 days and for 40 nights, the love was on her side. But who can stand when she's in the main? Her schemes and her plans. 'Cause we danced on the floor in the round. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice.
So this word is very important in the song, to take advice. But she makes it very low and very slowly and very special. I think really it stands out.
Absolutely. One of her genius things to be able to dissect a lyric and say what is important and how to stress that.
So let me ask you a question. I'm not sure there's an answer. What emotion does she put into that word advice? Does she make it like, you better take my advice? Or my advice is very deep? Or let me emphasize my advice? In other words, is there a particular way we can interpret what she's done with that word? I'm not sure there's an answer to that question. I think it's open to interpretation.
It's open to interpretation, but I would say it's, yeah, you better take my advice.
Yeah, okay.
Let's listen to it one more time.
For 40 days and for 40 nights, the law was on her side. But who can stand when she's in the main? Her schemes and her plans. 'Cause we danced on the floor in the round. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Adrian. I think it's, you better take my advice.
That's the way it sounds to me. Yeah?
It's almost like it's filled with destiny, or like she knows what's coming if you're not doing the right thing. Feel to it.
Yeah. It's one thing to put a distinctive sound, but it's another thing to try and interpret the emotion of that distinctive sound. And this is what we're trying to do now.
Yeah. I wonder how much she works on it, if she comes up with that kind of sound in an instant, if it's like an instinct, or she has that feeling and it just flows out from her, or if she has to rehearse and try to find it. If we ever get her on the podcast, I will ask her that question.
That will be the 83rd question we ask her, okay?
So now we go to something a little more difficult, because these are the hidden sound, the hidden treasures, as I've sometimes called them too, because they're also very beautiful sounds, but they are hidden and you have to listen very carefully. So the first one is in Yellow Brick Road, and it's the word woods.
Yeah, woods, okay.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, where the dogs of society howl. Back to the howling old owl in the woods.
You've got better hearing than I do, Adrian. I listened to that 5 times and I could not hear that word woods.
Now this one is one that I didn't find myself, but someone else found it in a reaction video. And then I picked up on that and I said, yes, no, this is really well sung, because she can put a vibrato on a sound that is very, very, very soft. And that's very difficult to do, because normally the vibratos are used for when the sound is strong.
Yeah.
And very soft sounds normally are flat, because they're already difficult to do. And she does very soft plus the vibrato.
You make me smile, Adrian, because you speak French almost as your first language. And a feature of French is not to pronounce the last letter of the word. So maybe this is what Angelina Jordan is doing when she's singing. She's not pronouncing the last word in the sentence.
Yes. Yeah, it could sound like that, but she does pronounce it. And so this is something really very nice. Yeah.
It's almost like a flutter, like a wind.
A wind in the woods.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Now we got it. Yeah.
Okay. It was the owl in the woods.
And those are very difficult to hear, owls, when they're flying around. Let's continue.
So the next one is Love on the Brain. And here she sings the word quit. And she sings it very softly. And I remember Alan saying once that if you want to emphasize a word, you have 2 options. You say it very loudly, or you say it much softer than the rest of what you say.
When you're a parent, you don't have to shout at your children. You can teach them that when you speak in a quieter voice, that you're equally upset. And it actually makes them more sensitive to your mood if you speak more quietly.
That's true. That's a good advice.
I like the way you said advice.
Yeah, I try.
It was like a threat to the word when you said it.
It also has a sort of effect of emphasizing it. And so here, this is what she does. She sings it very softly to emphasize the word quit.
And this version is some kind of rehearsal, isn't it?
It's one where she is practicing. I listened very carefully to the song when we were in Sandefjord.
Yeah.
And because she sang it also during the concert, and she did the same thing. So
Okay.
I was very happy because it's really sort of feature, of how she sings it.
Okay. Let's listen to Angelina, Love on the Brain, and the word
Yes.
quit.
Baby, you got me. Don't you stop loving me. Don't quit loving me.
Yeah, softer.
It's a whisper. It's a whisper. And first I thought maybe this was not meant to be like that, because maybe just her voice didn't give the volume at that point. But later on in the song, she sings it again, and she sings it exactly like that.
Yeah.
So it's really the way she wants it to be.
I don't know any other singer who sounds more like they're crying than Angelina Jordan can.
Yes, yes. Very sort of an emotional sound she can make.
Yeah.
So now the next one is easier to hear. It is in When We Were Young, and she sings the word song.
It was sad and getting old. It made us restless. It was just like a movie. It was just like a song.
Beautiful.
The word is elongated. That has a nice run to it there at
It
the
has
end.
a very nice run to it, very soft and very delicate. And in this song, she has 4 of them. And they are all a little different.
Do you know what emotion I heard in that word song? I heard a type of achiness where she was reminiscing about something from the past that she misses.
I think you're right.
It's lovely that you can pick up different things in just how we say things or how we sing words. I say we, but it's Angelina doing it. But it's inherent in our way of communicating, really, that we can hear how another person is feeling just by listening to how that person is pronouncing things. And maybe it also has to do with breathing as well.
Yeah. It's the tone. People say Angelina Jordan is all about tone, but you're a parent, Pontus, so you can communicate with your tone to your children. And children are very, very sensitive to that. If you have a dog and you say something to your dog can read your tone even better than your children.
Yeah. It's a very basic functionality within the brain to pick up on these things.
For the next one is in the song Someone You Loved, and it is the word fall.
I think we need to listen to that one more time. That's very subtle.
Okay.
So it's in the word
Fall, F-A-L-L.
Yeah.
And I fall into your arms.
Let's listen to that one again.
Now this is what is called a crack in the voice. It's a tone change on the vowel, and one can also see this as a mistake if it is unwanted. Now I'm not sure that Angelina made the mistake. I think she deliberately put it there because it's exactly the right place to put it to make it very, very dramatic. And I think it is beautifully done.
Do you know what I hear? I hear that the way she put the crack into that word, she makes the word cascading like a waterfall.
It's almost like an illustration of the meaning of the word itself, like falling down.
I don't know if it was meant or not meant, but this is from a rehearsal that she did. And in the recording with the public, she didn't do this. There was a lot of background noise because of the public, but I listened very carefully. And indeed, she did not do this small crack. But for me, that doesn't mean that it wasn't meant to be there.
Again, it's like a painting. It's like what we see is our vision of it.
Mm-hmm.
And what we hear is how we feel about it. So there's no right or wrong here. The only thing I think one can discuss is, are we putting too much thought behind things that aren't there? If she did do a mistake and we say a lot about it, then yeah, maybe. But still, it's art, and we're allowed to discuss art.
I think also what sort of reassures me, in my opinion, that she did it deliberately is that I know another singer that sang the song and did the crack exactly there too.
Okay.
So I think it was meant to be.
Yeah. Let's listen to that clip as well.
Yeah.
Close my eyes when it hurts. Sometimes I fall into your.
You know, it raises the question, is it what the artist puts into the work, or is it what the listener or the viewer takes out of it? What is more important? If the listener or the viewer hears something that was not intended, that does not minimize the work of art.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That was what I was going to say, Alan. You just, yeah.
Yeah, but you were going to say it in Swedish and I had to translate it into English.
Exactly. Very well done.
Yeah. The next one.
Yep. That's the last one, isn't it?
That's the last one.
Yeah.
You'll have to come back with another 9.
Sure. I can come back with another 20. No problem. Yeah, so this is in the House of the Rising Sun.
Yep.
And the word is father.
My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man.
Something a little bit like a rasp, but it is a bit more subtle.
Do you know what I heard? In the middle of that word, it sounds like she has a little bit of a cold. She goes a little bit hoarse in the middle of that word.
Yeah, but it is meant to be like that. She has a special way to put just a kind of very, very soft rasp onto this word to give it some extra strength. But it's very subtle because it's not a full rasp. She can modulate, you see, between these kind of things.
Yeah. I think we'll need to listen to that one more time to really appreciate that soft rasp that you're speaking of.
My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man.
Yeah. Yeah, you can really hear the difference between when she goes soft and when she goes a little bit more raspiness to it.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
I thought I appreciated Angelina Jordan before tonight, but I even appreciate her more now.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, she's such an artist and into the fine details. She can do also the big belts and the long runs. But then in the soft things, she is also really like a painter that sort of barely touches, with his brush to do some very fine work.
Yeah. I know my father, he was an abstract painter, and he was painting in oil. And he did 3 different layers at 3 different times because the oil must really dry. So the first layer was just simply putting different colors and streaks onto the canvas. And then the second layer was with white finding some kind of motif, some kind of shapes that he enjoyed. And then the third time, then he really got into the details and drew some lines and some finishing touches. And with oil, when you put it on very fine, you can see through the different layers. And I think there's a great kind of link in arts with painting and with Angelina's fine-tuned singing. That's really remarkable.
I think that's a great image. And to extend that image, with Angelina Dorden, not only does she not have to wait for the oil to dry, but she has 3 hands to paint at the same time. So she doesn't have to wait for it to dry, and she can overlay them, and she can do all 3 at the same time.
And at the same time, she can do plenty of other things.
She can wave with her 4th hand.
It's really been an education, Adrian.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I said to Pontus, we're going back to school, and he thought I was joking. But we have been very attentive students tonight, Adrian.
Very good. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the sort of things that can be discovered in her songs.
Yeah. It's a great thing to go back to a song and rediscover new things. That's one of the amazing things about her songs. They're so multifaceted in that way.
I don't think we should call this the microscope down the rabbit hole. I think we have to call it the electron microscope down the rabbit hole.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure that many people will pick up on that.
So, Adrian, do you have a finishing request? One of her songs that you want us to play at the end here?
But it can only be one word. It can only be one word.
Yeah. I think one of the songs I think that I would like to have in full is When We Were Young.
Yeah.
I think her performance is just so outstanding. It's an outdoor performance. It's not a studio recording. She's at a concert. And she's there. People are even talking and not paying attention. And the wind is making her papers fly with all the lyrics. And the beauty is that she's just unperturbed, and she can be in the song and sing it in a fantastic way with all external disturbances. I really love that.
The ultimate professional. Just a matter of time before we have you back a 5th time.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay. Thank you,
Thanks
Adrian.
a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Neste sang heter When You Were Young fra Adele. Everybody loves the thing you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you, 'cause you feel like home. You're like a dream come true. But if by chance you're alone, can I have a moment before I go? 'Cause I've been here by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You still look like a movie, you sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young. Let me photograph you in this light, in case this is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized it was sad of getting old and made us restless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song. I was so scared to face my fears, 'cause nobody told me you I swear I move overseas. That's what you said when you left me. You still look